Boy, can I help you?
Listen up. I'm bringing you the best content to ever exist in the door-to-door industry, from sales, leadership, recruiting, and personal development.
Well, why would I need that?
Because never before have we been able to collaborate with the top experts in their industries, sharing their secrets and techniques on what makes them the best.
Wait, who are you?
I'm your host, Sam Taggart, creator of the DDD Experts and DDD Con. Is there a place we can sit down?
Well, come on in.
We are excited to announce Jordan Belfort, the real Wolf of Wall Street, at D2DCon 2019, January 10th through 12th in Salt Lake City. Register today at d2dcon.com. Come as a team, learn as a team, lead as a team.
I'm Sam Taggart, and this is Danny Pessy, and this is the DDD Podcast. So we're coming to you live from San Francisco. This is us on Treasure Island right now in a very abundant place. We figured we might as well do this podcast in an area where, you know, practicing abundance while we're out here.
A lot of abundance out here. There's abundant seagulls, abundant bird poop everywhere. It just reminds you being one with nature. In fact, this very rock I'm sitting on has been blessed with multiple bird poop. So
solid.
That's some abundant places to sit.
And we did an abundant thing last night. Where were we last night?
So we went to see Game 1 of the NBA Finals, where J.R. Smith single-handedly blew the game for LeBron James and the crew. It was very disappointing. I haven't seen
it in the bag.
I haven't seen such disappointment since the Jacobson brothers single-handedly took down Platinum Protection.
Let's talk on that. So Danny and I go back to Platinum days.
Yes.
He was number 7 in the company. I was number 8. I will say, beat me by 1, but it was always us back and forth. But yeah,
Bucks.
rest in peace, Platinum. Where are all my Platinum people? If you sold Platinum,
throw some hearts.
Let's
see some hearts, man. Bless you. Hopefully you guys are still around, man. Never forget, I got a Platinum t-shirt at my house.
I got a Platinum sweatshirt still. I think we're going to throw the Platinum videos on DDD University. Might as well put them to good use for something.
Yeah,
right?
I've got a copy sitting in my house. So
solid.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dive into this. Today, let's first talk a little bit about your background, but before we get into that, kind of the topics that we decided to talk on today are really how to become super successful year after year and be consistent and be able to maintain fun and your own identity and bring that into the job to make sure it's fun and exciting and you can last a lot longer in one company and just be there.
Yep.
So that's kind of the main focus. And we're also going to talk a little bit on just kind of like Pessy and what he does to be Pessy. Like that, I think that would be a super fun jam because he has such a unique personality and he really has helped like inspire others to do the same. So I appreciate you being on the show, Danny, and this is
man.
I'm excited.
I'm super excited. We had to edit out the first one because Sam accidentally misspelled my last name and Facebook took it down for inappropriateness. So yeah, I mean, that happens sometimes. The same thing happened to me in high school. I was warming up for a basketball game. We just got brand new jerseys and my last name was misspelled. And unfortunately, I got suspended for 5 days. So that was no fun. But hey, what can you do? You got to play the cards that you were dealt. So
I love it. Yeah, so tell us how you kind of got recruited into the industry. You're not a Utah boy, which is kind of fun.
Born and raised California. I was one of the last of the Mohicans out there that since then, a lot of the companies have kind of spread down into Los Angeles. My buddy, Daniel Huddleston, went to the University of Utah, got recruited by my boy Jason Strife, and then he came down, told me about it. I was working as a camp counselor at the time, and then due to some unsavory comments I made, I was no longer allowed to work there. So I was free, open game, to go out and explore my field, and they told me, hey, come out and sell alarm systems for the summer, and you can be rich. And I'm like, all right, well, if all my buddies are doing it, I'll go out and do it. So we went up to Seattle, Washington, and it was a very, very tough market for a first-year rep. A lot of rain, a lot of very mean people, and a lot of people with a lot of income. So I remember just getting hounded. Never had so much rejection as a rep in any market. People were just mean.
Yeah, what was that like? Like your first week, your first month? Like how did you kind of get started? Like was it a quick start? It sounds like you kind of got beat up, mean people. Like tell us a little bit about that first year.
So the first year, never knocked doors. I went out there. I was given a clipboard, an old T-shirt, and I shadowed my supervisor at the time for 3 doors. 2 of them weren't home, and 1 lady was home with her dogs, and she's like, come back later, my husband's not home. And I'm like, all right. And then he just left me, and he's like, all right, figure it out. I'm like, wait, What security systems? How much is it? He's like, $50 a month, figure it out. At the time it was $42.99. So
Good phone line systems.
Yeah, the old phone line system.
What year did you start?
I was end of 08, beginning of 09. 09 was my first summer.
Cool.
So I got thrown out there, and I was knocking in the neighborhood adjacent to Bill Gates' house. So I was on a hill in Seattle, Washington, and on Lake, I think the name is Lake Washington, where it was, his house was actually built into the side of the mountain, and he had a moat to the entrance of his home that had 2 guards 24/7 sitting out front.
Wow.
And I remember knocking on these people's doors, $1 million homes, and people were just screaming at me, "What do you want? Get the F out of here." And I mean, I was getting rocked, and I was like, dude, this sucks. And I was about to quit. One of my really good friends went home, and I just had this epiphany, and I was like, you know what? I'm not a quitter. I'm going to stick it out. I'll never do it again. But I'm not the kind of guy that's going to quit. So I made sure I stuck it out, and I ended up doing pretty well. I finished with 81 at the end of summer. I only had 3 months, so I busted my butt and made it happen. And I can remember on the verge of quitting, being in a Wendy's bathroom, just ready to give up and go home, and I just changed my thought process. I'm like, dude, I'm going to stick it out, and I stuck it out. And then 1 year led into another, and then led into another, and every single year, I think what's really hooked me is I doubled and tripled my income every year for the first 4 years, and then have been right around that spot a little every year. I've been raising my income, so that's kind of helped me stay on the trajectory, where a lot of guys that when they get into the job, they have one bad year and then they quit. Whereas if they would have stuck it out and continued, they would eventually have gotten the peak again, but they gave up too quickly before they got to get that skill set where they can get the foundation of their business down, where they can continue to propel their income every single year.
And what's interesting to speak to that is I think like a lot of people, maybe I made 30 grand my first summer, right? And it's like, okay, I could go make 30 grand at pretty much every job that I apply for, right? Maybe not in such a short amount of time, but pretty easily. Let's say I'm a college kid, let's say I'm whatever. But I don't think that they realize that 30 grand could turn into 60 pretty effortlessly if you just stuck out another year, and you stuck out another year and another year. You know what I mean? The fact that you could dictate doubling and tripling and duplicating your income so fast, I think what people underestimated the power of consistency and being able to stick this out longer term than, some people may be out there for the summer right now just being like, man, one summer and I'm done. I'll never want to knock a door again. Like, you know what I mean? And I think it's like, man, if you knew you could double your income, would you knock another door?
Yeah.
I probably would.
And that's the problem we're dealing with. Like, luckily I got into the marketplace before the social media and the phone apps and all that stuff really took off. And everybody just wants that instant gratification. They want to post a picture and they want to get 100 likes. But what they don't realize is that it takes a while in the marketplace to get to that point where you're getting those kind of likes. And if it's not instantaneous, a lot of the people quit. And that's the hard part is if the guys that actually stick it out and focus on the next 3 to 5 years, eventually you'll get to that point.
Hey, keep going. Hold on. I'm gonna turn my phone on mute. People are texting me. Let's see if people are on here. Hold on. I don't know why my phone's not on mute. Anyway. Okay, keep going.
So many people are trying to get to that instant gratification without understanding that, hey, it takes a while for you to get to that point. Everybody wants to make the 6-figure jobs. Everybody wants to make the big bucks. But what they don't realize is it takes a couple years to get that skill set developed where you can consistently go out and make that really good income. And it's during those first 2 or 3 years where it's not fast enough, where people quit and they hop around and they see that at the end of the day, they think that they can get to it by jumping onto another opportunity. But what they don't realize is the opportunity that's in front of them right then and there. That's the true gold mine. And if they stick with it and continue to grow, they're going to be able to produce and they're going to be able to get that skill set. But they give up too quickly before they realize, hey, the hidden gold is me sticking it out, not me finding where it's at and getting it.
Yeah, and I think one thing to point out, like one thing that's interesting about Danny is it's not like he's jumped around company to company to company. Even though he's worked at Platinum, Pinnacle, and Vivint, the issue is Platinum, it went out of business. We both had to go somewhere. Danny went Pinnacle, I went Vivint. And then 2 years later, Pinnacle, everybody jumped ship. And it's like, holy cow, like the ship is sinking. Same thing, what do? Goes to Vivint. And I think you've never bounced companies really. And
never left.
I think you've probably watched a lot of friends go from company, they're the hoppers, right?
Yep.
And I think what result have you seen over the years from just you being able to stick it out and stay with the same groups, you know, be consistent year after year, like what result have you found from doing that?
Yeah, a lot of these reps that I've worked with over the years, they look for external circumstances to change internal drive and motivation. And when they keep looking for things outside of themselves, they forget that the common denominator with all of the situations they're going through is themselves. And if they cannot depend on other things to change, then that's when they can really take the inner reflection and make the appropriate changes to be able to increase their wealth. So with me, I've never left a company. The companies have left me.
Yeah, that's how I say it. Like
that's the crazy part. And you know, there's been opportunities where I've been given chances to go work for other companies, and a lot of everyone that's been
somebody's tried to recruit you?
Hey, go figure, right? And large amounts of money, and my buddies have actually fallen for it and went there, and then they ended up not being as successful. And I've never taken a special deal. I've never got paid to go anywhere. Like, I've made the choices purely off opportunity, and it's never been that the other people are going to change my circumstances. I look at it as me, and if they can help me out, then hey, more power to them. So for me, my whole thing is if I don't blame other people or look to them to solve my problems, I can solve them, then I can duplicate my system, and wherever I go, I will be successful, not depending on the company, the manager, or the regional. Because a lot of the time people look for the managers to blame, the regionals to blame, but at the end of the day, realistically, it's only them. And it's hard to take responsibility for that. But if you take complete extreme ownership of that, you're the one that's actually in charge of your destiny, not the circumstance, not the pay scale, not the manager that screwed you over, not the person that put you in the bad turf. That's the hard pill to swallow. And if you can write your own ticket. And that's what's led me to have such a longevity in the alarm industry, is where I've had 10 years where I feel like I have another 10 years and I'm freaking gripping and ripping right now. And so the way I've been able to do it, we can kind of segue into kind of my history of where I've become this person who I am now, and I've applied into the business. Is I started off doing this job to pay for theater gigs. So I was in college at the time. I started up a theater troupe called Grizzled Chuck. And Grizzled Chuck was the improv troupe that me and my good friends from my high school started, and a bunch of my guys from CV. What's up? If you guys are from Grizzled Chuck, throw some love on
Grizzled Chuck. Hashtag Grizzled Chuck.
Hashtag Grizzled Chuck. If you hashtag Grizzled Chuck, I'll send you a Grizzled Chuck sticker. Let's go. So I got a bunch still left in my house. So yeah, I would go out every summer and make a bunch of money, and then 8 months I'd go and put on performances where I tried to be an inspiring comedian. So I'd perform down in LA at small gigs. Amateur level, I never really made it past that, but it was a lot of fun when I did it. I was in improv theater troops. I was a theater major in college. So in my college, I was the first person to ever start up an improv comedy troupe, and we performed for 5 years straight. And it was like my passion. I love doing it. But the problem is with theater is there's not a lot of money in it, unfortunately. And when you start getting good at sales, you start to realize, hey, there's some real potential for growth in here. And I found that I was able to do better for my family and better for myself and better for other people if I was to go increase my income and essentially go back and visit the theater when I've made it, as you can say.
Yeah, that's what what's his
Trey
name?
Warner.
Yeah, Trey Warner. He's doing that right now. It's
Trey's
funny.
Trey's the man.
He's the man.
He's been able to get out of the rat race, take his income, and then go out and pursue his happiness. And that's kind of the route I'd eventually like to get into.
Yeah.
Like with me, I never got to perform at a professional level, but when I started my own troupe, I could book my own theaters. I could pay for the comedians that would perform with me. And I liked that because instead of me kissing somebody's butt, I could go out there and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to put the money down for the theater. I don't have to go and audition for your play. I'm going to make the play, and I'm going to book myself as the main lead. So that was kind of my motivation behind it, because in Hollywood, there's a lot of butt kissing, a lot of not what you know, it's who you know. And I didn't like that game. I wanted to be the boss, and I wanted to be the guy that was in charge of my future rather than waiting for somebody else to give me the golden ticket.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I'm going to go out and pave my way. Because there's guys right now that are super successful, like Dan Bilzerian. He wanted to go and be in a movie. He actually, I think, paid $125,000 to be in a movie. So, like, if you don't make it, you can go buy your way in.
Yeah,
that's
money can do a lot.
100%. And that's like where I was kind of like, you know, dude, that's the route I want to go. You know.
So tell us how you've incorporated that dream into the job. How have you put the two together?
So people always talk about like, oh, I want to be in my passion. I want to be in my passion. Well, my passion would have led me to living in my mom's basement and not being able to help my family out when they really needed me, and be able to support children one day, support my wife and kids, which is selfish because I need to be able to support them. So instead of me having this one dream of me being on TV, I'm now performing every day in my theater, in my sales meetings. Every time I'm on somebody's door is a new scene. Every time I go and put on a sales training, it's a performance. And based off of my performance, I get compensated. So instead of getting a standing ovation at the end of it, my team goes out and produces sales, and then I get paid on that. If I go out and I knock on somebody's door, I put on a good performance for them, I get paid for it. So it's not the exact way I envisioned it, but it's the way that I could live what I truly wanted to do out in the circumstances I was given, and be able to supply for my family and be able to take care of myself.
How has that helped you create longevity in the job? Kind of correlating the first topic we talked about and kind of bringing in this whole your sales and your team, that is your stage. Mm-hmm. How does that help you create more of this into a career versus just a summer job?
Yeah, because what you do is you take what your job is, and then you incorporate what your passion is. And what my passion is making people laugh and entertaining. I get to be in a position where every day I go to entertain somebody at their house. Every single person I knock on their door, I get to entertain them. Every time I go and put on a sales training, I entertain my guys and I teach them something very valuable. And I'm living like my dream. Not exactly how I envisioned it, but I am a performer. And so whether it's you wanted to grow up and be something, you got to figure out a way that you can take what you wanted and incorporate it with your work. And that's truly finding a way to live your best life. And that's why I've had such a great time over 10 years. I have so much fuel in the tank. I've made, great income, and it's only going up from here. And I hope to be able to teach other people the same ways, teach them how to take what they want in life and be able to get to where they want to go by not sacrificing who they are as a person. Like, I always wanted to be in theater. I didn't give that up. I still figured it out. And taking what you want and being able to apply it into your business, that's true success.
Yeah, and I think also like personality into your business too. I think a lot of people think like a salesperson has to have X personality. Like, I'm not funny, so I can't sell like that guy. It's like, well, great. Maybe you're not funny, but we're not serious like you, or you know what I mean? But you can sell like this guy. Like, it's so funny interviewing you and then interviewing like a Jordan Williams. He's not a funny guy. He's not a very bubbly guy. He's kind of a dry, like, here it is. Yep. But he sells a heck of a lot of accounts. So like, it's taking who you are as an individual and applying it to getting the results that's required, and not losing your own identity. Where I remember I was watching a training video with Mendez, and I was trying to sell like Mendez, and I'm like,
that's the one, the Poppy,
one.
Baby. What's
Yeah.
up, Poppy?
Much love, Juan.
Much love.
So he, I'm watching this video, and I'm like, okay, I'll just do what he does. And I just like sucked that week, and I was like, what the freak? And I was like, oh, I'm not him. Like, I need to be me. And everybody that shadows me is like, well, I can't do what you're doing, Sam. I'm not like that. I'm like, I don't want you to do exactly what I'm doing. I want you to do what you do. But I want you to own what you do and do it with confidence, and do it from a state of like, I'm here to serve, I'm here to be authentic. And that's what customers will resonate with. I think like a lot of people lose their own, like, they think that their personality doesn't fit sales, but I think you just have to fit sales to your personality.
Hey, there you go. That's the phrase. It pays right there.
So yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's like to kind of piggyback off that. It's like wearing a jacket. Like, you can take certain things from different people. Like me, I'm a combination of like 5 or 6 different type of people over the years, and I found how to put the Danny Pessy on top of these different people. So I'm still me, but I have 5 or 6 different jackets on of different people that I've learned from.
Who are some of those people that you've loved pulling from that have really been a big staple or mentor in your path?
I think the biggest person who's played the largest impact on my career to help me get where I want to go is Jake Ellsworth and Isaac Burnside. So those 2 guys, I've learned some of the most...
Both platinum boys?
Platinum boys. So those guys has helped me. I've applied a lot of different techniques from them, and I've learned. And I've been so fortunate because I was able to have companies leave me. So I would go to the new companies and meet different people and learn from them and take my game to the next level, because instead of staying in one spot and only learning from the same people, every single year I had a new regional. Every single year I had almost a new company. So I got to go out and experience these other people, and that's what's the beauty of what you're doing here, is you're able to learn from other people, and all of us can take some different techniques. Like the only way these guys would have heard from me is if they worked at Vivint or in my office.
Yeah.
Now they might not work for me, but they could take something that I've learned and apply it to what they do and increase their income. And then now those people will then have more successful lives. And even though I've never worked with them before, they've worked with me, something that I've taught them is able to increase their life and human life capital.
I love
and
that.
for me, that's super important, because at the end of the day, dude, we're all going to die. We're not going to have any money. You know, we can't take our money with us, but it's the impact you make on people's lives that are the true meaning of, like, to me, what the true meaning of life is helping out other people, and then having them remember them, you know, having them remember you for the rest of your life. So something that I might say or do or teach somebody will be able to take them, and they can use that skill for the rest of their life, even though they never talk to me.
Yeah, so is it like, this is actually a question I've always had, and I'm assuming a lot of people may have the same question. When you do this whole hashtag Pessy Security, where did that birth from? Why do you do that? Like, what's the whole meaning behind this whole, I mean, you work for Vivint, but
Yeah.
why the Pessy Security?
So that's the thing. Like, people get lost in their identity. I work for Vivint. I love Vivint. I've been there for 7 years. Like, I am freaking. I work super hard. I sell a ton of accounts. I did 326 accounts last year. So I'm very big into the company, into the culture, and I love Vivint. But the thing is by me me giving up my identity to work for a company, I'm not true to myself. And that's what draws people to you. They don't want to look to a person as somebody else. They want to see what they are as a person. What Pessy Security is all about is it's me as a person living my best life. It's me making my brand, my following, and showing people that, hey, just because you work for a company doesn't mean you can't run your own business. And you don't need to lose your identity because you work from somebody else. And what a lot of people don't realize is no matter what, for the rest of your life, you will have another boss. It depends on how you look at it. And if you have nobody to answer to, guess what? You answer to Uncle Sam. And if you don't answer to Uncle Sam, he's going to kick your butt. Okay? Pay your taxes. Pay them. Seriously.
He's speaking from truth here.
Sam,
Behind this,
they don't need to know.
They don't even
that.
know.
They don't.
He's speaking from truth.
I'm speaking from a lot of truth,
Yes.
and it sucks. But no, it doesn't. I love you, Uncle Sam. I'm happy to pay, and I will keep paying forever. So, unfortunately. So,
we had a soft spot here.
yeah,
Keep going.
very soft. Hopefully you can edit that part out. Or not. Oh, geez Louise. But like I was saying, so that's the thing. At the end of the day, like, you got to be yourself, and you will have so much more of a reward, because at the end of the day, you've built your own brand. You've built your own personality, not for somebody else. And when you go to bed at night, even though you work for somebody else and your paycheck comes from someone else, you're still your own boss, and you're able to hold that uniqueness to yourself and be able to feel like you're out there truly accomplishing things. Even though I make plenty of people of money at Vivint, like, I'm still running my own business.
But you're also paying for the admin, the customer service, the equipment, the this, and I think a lot of people don't realize the roots that their company they work for have to put into the ground in order for you to flourish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think we take those for granted a lot of times as sales guys, because they're always chasing, like, well, why does that guy make so much money? It's like, well, he does something for you as a company and builds value, and there's a team aspect. And I think, you know, a lot of people ask, like, well, why don't I just go start my own alarm company, or why don't I just go start my own pest control company, or whatever, right? And I think there's something to be said, like, you are your own company.
You're already doing it.
You're already doing it. You're
Yeah.
1099. You dictate your paycheck. You're this, you're that. You just don't have to deal with the stress and monotonous, you know, aspect of finance and accounting and taxes and payroll and this and this. You know what I mean? And it's just like, sit with that. Like, sit with that. And I just think, I love what you've done with the whole, like, I can brand myself within a company, and I own that, and it actually has some network equity even in and of itself. There's probably some value associated to hashtag Pessy Security due to your Instagram following, due to your Facebook follow, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you say that, there's like some equitable value, or called goodwill, or whatever, to that.
Yeah.
So
100%.
anyway, so the last thing, I actually, this is funny, and this may be where you just hang up. This may be where you actually want to start listening and like this and share this.
Uh-oh.
But I guarantee, because Pessy has brought such an interesting comedy performing sales style to his team and people, I'm curious, what are some of the crazy stories that you've had over your 10 years? Like, craziest door, craziest customer, craziest situation you've ever been in? I'm curious, like, what comes to your mind when I say that?
Yeah, so I mean, over the years, there obviously was a lot of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm all fun and games, but like when it comes down to getting to work, I'm not out there just cracking jokes with the customers. Like, I get down to
There's
business.
psychology in what you do.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, right?
So I use humor to ease pressure and tension in the sales technique, in the sales process, so I can actually get farther, and which is something I'd love to train on a deeper level at. But comedy is one of the best things that you can use to ease pressure in a sales
like a buying situation.
Because a lot of the time humor makes the customer more at ease. They're much more likely to buy something from you if they're laughing and they're not tense. And so if you know how to strategically use comedy to get the customer to like you and you move further along in the sales process, you're going to end up closing a lot more deals.
But there's probably a balance, right?
There is a bit.
Because if you cross that line and you become the friend zone and it's like you get out of business zone too much, it's like, oh yeah, I love you, man, but I don't want to spend $50, or whatever.
And that's what I've done a very good job as. I know how to balance it. I'm not sitting there putting on a stand-up shtick. Like, there's different times and different ways that I bring stuff up to ease buying tensions, but it's not me going in there and just being a clown. Like, there's strategy behind it, and I have a sales process that we're going to be talking about on Door-to-Door Virtual Con, so be sure to go in there and watch that. I drop my technique that I do, and it's been very successful over the years for me. But like, some of the best stuff that I've done over the years is, I mean, it's a lot of it isn't so much like on the doors, but it's like off the doors with my buddies and stuff and hanging out and having fun. Like, I remember my first year out there, we were in an Indian reservation selling alarms, and we were setting off fireworks in the middle of the night. Then all of a sudden, me and my buddies were shooting them off in the middle of the road, and we saw the whole the cornfields light up, and then we see a police officer, lights and sirens rushing at us down this long road, and we're like, oh crap, here he comes, we're gonna be in trouble. So we all go and hide, and my buddy, on a cornfield, there's irrigation ditches, which was filled with water and manure, and he didn't know that, but he jumped into the irrigation ditch to hide from him, and then the cop flies by, doesn't see us, he gets out, he's covered in poop water, and it was hilarious, and his phone was broken, and he got just poop all over him and stuff. It was a really crappy situation. And
That's awesome.
yeah, I guess you
just imagine him just like, oh, that was really shitty.
Yeah, to put it lightly, he was really down in the dumps. Yeah, these jokes are just.
No, that was good.
Yeah, these jokes stink. But yeah, so just little things like that, and then a lot of the other things is like I've been selling in the South this year in Houma, Louisiana. So, like, out in the bayou, I've really dove deep into the culture and experienced like living out in a swamp and getting destroyed by mosquitoes, like being thankful and grateful for that, having a bunch of humidity out there and just sweating, and like things like that are just, it's funny to me. Like, what the heck happened? I was telling jokes in Hollywood, now all of a sudden I'm selling people in the South and eating crawfish every night and looking at alligators. So just little things like that, man. It's just fun, the kind of adventures that you can go on with this job. And that's like what I've truly appreciated over the years, is you get to see the world, you get to experience different things, and you get out of your comfort zone. And that's where I've been able to become successful in this industry, is because I'm not afraid to go out there and try new things, and I'm not afraid to go out there and live in new markets. And for the guys that aren't in the industry, that are my buddies just watching this, go out there and try something new. Go to a different country, go travel. Like, those are some of the most hidden gems and the most beautiful things about this planet, is the different cultures and the different people that you meet and the different friendships that you can make. That's the true gem behind this life. And if you stay at home and you don't travel, you don't do different things, like, you're really going to be disappointed in what this world has to offer. I mean, look at where we're at. We're sitting here in beautiful San Francisco, last night we saw the Golden State Warriors game. Like, I never would have thought I'd in a million years be able to at an NBA Finals game. So it's just beautiful where life takes you, and by going out there, doing hard stuff, taking challenges, and going out there and experiencing stuff that people don't want to experience, you get to experience what people actually truly wish they experienced. And that's been like one of the best things that I've been able to take away from this job.
I love it. I love that. No, yeah. And that, I think a lot of people that listen to this obviously are doing the job, but I also think a lot of people that are listening to this are doing the job to go do a different job.
Yep.
And I'm like,
they're missing.
I'm like, you're missing the point here. Like, it's just be in the moment and do the job, and they complain about the results, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people that do the job that are like, oh, I can't perform, it's because they're not fully doing the job.
Yeah.
Because their mind is on the next job, which really the next job is going to be worse than the job that you're currently in. I can guarantee it, because I've watched so many people go into the real world, the real jobs or whatever they call them. And I'm like, yeah, but you hate your life. I was trying to explain to my wife the other day. I was like, babe, do you realize, because she was complaining, she's like, I don't, you're never home, or you're this and that. I'm like, babe, we just went on a cruise. We went to Lake Powell. We're going to California next month. We're going to another place. I forget where it is. Oh, Sun Valley next month. I'm like, within 2 months, we're taking probably 6 weeks of vacation.
Yeah.
Most normal jobs, you get 2 weeks.
That's it.
I'm
done.
sitting here going like, what do you mean? And I think a lot of people don't realize that it's be where you are, because that's probably one of the biggest reasons you're not performing the way you should be performing too.
Yeah. Enjoy it,
and then enjoy life outside the job.
Yeah. A lot of it has to do with attitude and how you view it and your paradigm. Like for me, I left Southern California, that's where I live, in LA, have a great area, great house, everything like that, and I moved to Houma, Louisiana. Like most people don't know that. That's New Orleans, and then an hour south in the swamps in the bayou where the Gator World is filmed. And I'm actually having one of the best times I've ever had. It's 100 degrees out. It's disgusting. I'm getting destroyed by mosquitoes, but I'm having a blast because I'm eating the cultural food down there. I'm meeting different people I never would have thought. And I'm training and having fun and meeting new customers. That's the beauty of what we're doing. And a lot of people could be like, dude, that sucks. I just want to push this off till I get back home. But no, enjoy it. Be in the moment. Enjoy where you're at. And I guarantee you things will start turning out a lot better.
100%. Your performance will go whoop. So last question. And before this last question, again, go register. You got to go get your ticket. DDDconvirtual.com. It's free, and you'll get a deep dive a lot more into
Enter code Pessy Security, free.
You'll get it for free.
You'll get it for free. Hashtag Pessy Security. If you hashtag Pessy Security, I'll give you a free ticket right now.
A free ticket if you hashtag that. No, but one last question would be, if you could give the door-to-door, let's call it the brand new rep. Let's call it's your first year out there. What advice would you give him right now, being in it for 10 years? Going back to that first year guy, what would you tell him?
Don't take yourself so serious. This is an adventure to go on and enjoy, and don't beat yourself up. Have fun. Think big picture, and when you're out there and it gets tough, make friends and do, sometimes to break up the monotony, do some fun stuff. A couple favorite things I like to do is, I'll go to a customer's house. If I'm feeling down and depressed, when I'm done, I'll be like, all right, sir, no problem. Have a good day. High five. And high five them, enjoy it. And then you can say funny little jokes like, hey, sir, I just got done setting up your neighbor. Did you hear about the dildo we just did for him? The dildo. Did you hear about it? Yeah, we just got done with them. So yeah, she really enjoyed it. Your family probably will too.
Are you the home boner here?
Yeah. So little things like that. Mix it up a little bit. Have fun. And and I would recommend reaching out to people that you don't know and making friendships with them and connecting, because that's my favorite part, is connecting with other people that I haven't met, making friends, because you never know when somebody that you don't know is going to help you out in life or give you some motivation. It's all about your proximity of people that you're around, and the way to get good is really buy into it. Yeah, have fun, buy into it, and then just commit for the long haul and commit on finishing the summer, and then you can look at next year. If you're already 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you're never going to be able to make it.
100%.
So.
Okay, you heard it firsthand from Danny Pessy. Thanks so much for being on the show, my man.
Yep.
You're the man, dude.
Yeah, boys.
Okay, share this.
Share it.